Do you remember that show that used to play on TV called Gladiators, where essentially a bunch of men and women would push and shove around for a prize, much like the South African Bucky market, where it seems like all manufacturers are also pushing and shoving to get a slice of that Bucky pie. Today, however, I have got a new contestant that has entered the arena, and this time it's a real gladiator. There's a reason why we started this review at the back of this vehicle. The Bucky section of this car is the biggest talking point. Up front, it looks like a Jeep Wrangler, but here at the back, you see something that you've never really seen before. We always say that Buckys look quite similar from the back, but this is not the case. This looks like a truck. It looks clunky, it looks bulky, it looks menacing. Measuring in at 5.5 meters in length, this is a very large vehicle, but it's got the presence to match. If you are going to jump inside the vehicle, specifically this section of the car, you'll be happy to know that you've got 693 kilograms of payload, which means that you can really fit quite a lot in the back of this vehicle. And at the end of the day, this car is meant to work, so if it needs to work, it can definitely do that. One of my biggest bugbears when it comes to Buckys is the day-to-day practicality of these vehicles. Yes, you've got tons of space in the load bay, but what happens to your laptop? What happens to your groceries? Jeep, however, has thought that through, and they have given us some storage space. It's not a lot, but I can put in small items of value that I don't want people to see that are going to be in the vehicle whilst I am out the car. Although, we did find something that was quite unique about this vehicle. Have a look at this. So here I've got a speaker, but I do notice that there's a little latch, and if I do that, I can take out the speaker, which means I have got a mobile Bluetooth speaker that I can take with me when I'm not in the vehicle. So the Jeep party can continue wherever you want it to continue. I mean, really, what a good touch. What a good touch. Let's get the negative stuff out of the way. And the reason why I say negative stuff is because it all depends on you as a consumer. If you're the kind of consumer that loves to go off-road and you're going to be crawling at 30, 40 kilometers an hour, you're not going to be worried about certain attributes that come with driving a Jeep. But Jeeps are known for, first and foremost, being quite noisy on the road because they don't have a lot of sound deadening. We need to remember that cars like this are able to take off their roofs, you're able to take off the doors, and because those kind of things need to be actually physically lifted out, you can't make them too heavy and you can't fill them with sound deadening because it's just going to be impractical to get those things physically out of the car. But as a result of that, it does really mess with the NVH levels in this vehicle. You have only got the 3.6 litre V6 Pentastar available. It produces 209 kilowatts and 347 Newton meters, which is decent power. Mated to this 8-speed automatic gearbox is quite good on the road. I really do enjoy it. You're just going to have to get used to the noisier cabin and the slightly bumpy ride. Interior-wise, the cabin is quite well built. I've got decent materials used, and at the same time, everything feels quite good to touch. Nothing feels cheap or nothing feels overly hard in terms of the plastics that they use. I also do have an 8.4-inch touchscreen infotainment system. It does give me Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's also various menus that you can go through that will tell you exactly what's happening in the vehicle, which will tell you your approach angle. If you're on 2 high, on 4 low, you'll be able to actually see exactly what's going on in your vehicle as you're driving. So you can really see that they've thought about the consumer and the consumer's day-to-day driving habits. And I must say, really all the boxes that I want ticked are ticked. Any terrain is my terrain to do what I want with it. And I absolutely love the confidence this car gives me off-road because you feel indestructible. Not only does it look super hardcore, it can also do super hardcore stuff. When the time is right, we'll test this car in the right setting where you can see it doing ridiculous angles. Speaking about those angles, this car has the ability to wade up to 800 millimeters and it has a ground clearance of 280 millimeters, which also means you can bob and swing and go down and up, and you'll feel that this vehicle can handle it all with ease. This Jeep really offers quite the experience going off-road. I'd love to see what this thing can do against the likes of a Ford Raptor. And funny enough, they both use similar shocks, or shocks from the same brand, which is Fox, and Fox loves to have fun off-road. Another reason why this vehicle is so comfortable at speed off-road is because it's got the right tire and wheel size setup. It's running 17-inch wheels, and it's got 32-inch BF Goodrich off-road tires. You can actually carry a decent amount of speed and still maintain your confidence levels because this chassis is just so good at doing exactly this. This is what makes you forgive the fact that the ride can be a bit bobby and bouncy, is because it can do this kind of stuff. This is where a Jeep needs to live, and this Gladiator really lives up to the Jeep name and, of course, the Gladiator name.